to Bone Scholars. We are meeting after many days, almost a week, I think. So today again, we are going to start with the a reading session to learn and hunt some vocabulary. Today I've chosen a different topic. Today I've chosen medium, where I'm going to read a story and then we are going to find out the words, the difficult words from this story. The story is written by Jason Shane, and the title of the story is The Tyranny of 30. We'll go for the difficult words, but here, for the time being, just to understand the title, so that you get aligned to it, the tyranny means the difficulty or the pressure, undue pressure. Okay. First of all, let me once again welcome you, and I'm Lalit. I'm a communication skills coach, and I take online sessions and on offline sessions for the working professionals and those who are not working. Help them enhance their communication skills, and this is how, to me, vocabulary plays a major role. That's why we're focusing on it, and then we just want to have around 1,000 words, and this is the 11th session of the series that we're working on. And today we have got 20 words, and then the previous session we have been doing some words. You can go to the previous videos and then read those words. They're mentioned in the description box, and then you can make a list of it, or maybe at the end of the series we will provide you with the complete list, so that you can just go through and strengthen your vocabulary, and so that your communication gets better with this. As I said, or as I normally say, your vocabulary is like, what you have in your arsenal. You just can't fight a battle without your arsenal. So this is like building up your arsenal. Please treat it like that, and then things will definitely be fine. Okay, so going ahead with the tyranny of 30. Let me just read the article and then we will go to the words. The tyranny of 30, the artificial deadline that's reunion a generation. Okay, I'm sorry, I'll just read the subtitle again. The artificial deadline that's ruining the generation. It's destroying a generation. The tyranny of 30 has become the most pernicious deadline of our culture. Guillotine over the necks of ambitious 20-something at tech startups in Silicon Valley, artist studio in Bed-Stuy, and influencers' houses in West Hollywood. All of them chanting the same frantic mantra, I ain't gonna make it by 30. Now 30 is the line in the sand, the point beyond which high potential resolves into undeniable achievement and provable irrelevance. I think there's a glare in my spec, so I just want to remove that. Maybe I can enlarge it a bit so that I can see it more clearly. Yeah. Now there is a hint of truth in the words. Early success enables you to compound your gains and many of our culture's most iconic figures. Iconic is a word. Iconic figures got their start at the young age. Taylor Swift won her first Album of the Year Grammy at the age 20. Mr. Beast became the world's most subscribed YouTuber at the age of 26. John and Patrick Collison became the world's youngest billionaires at ages 26 and 28. Kohinde Willie began his iconic Rumors of the War series at the age 29. Now, tech, art, and pop culture have long had young prodigies. Prodigies is another word. That's nothing new. But the tyranny of 30, the pressure to become somebody by your third decade has intensified in the recent decades. And there is no greater culprit than the Forbes 30 under 30 list. What began 14 years ago as Forbes' attempt to one up Fortune, Fortune's prestigious 40 under 40 list has transformed from a celebration of rare, uh, precocious talent into cultural imperative. As the list expanded across 31 industries and regions, anointed nearly 1,000 young stars annually, its nature fundamentally shifted. From the true elusive exclusive, from the true exclusive distinction, it became the expected next rung on the achievement ladder. Its absence a silent question mark on the status, on your status. Did you even matter if you weren't 30 under 30? Like the academic arms race triggered by US News college rankings, getting onto the list to become getting on the list became a gold star to chase rather than natural result of excellence. The consequences were more than psychological. The Forbes to fraud pipeline, a phenomena Forbes itself acknowledged in 2023 in the Hall of Shame post, reveals how the pressure for extraordinary early achievements can drive desperate fabrication. Now let's try to understand the words, you know, that we have encountered till now. Tyranny. Tyranny is the first word as it appears in the title. Tyranny means cruel and obsessive rule or the control. It's a pressure, it's a kind of a pressure. Pernicious. Pernicious, having an having an harmful effect, especially in a gradual and a subtle way. Pernicious. Guillotine. Guillotine is nothing but a device used for execution by beheading. Beheading is when you behead. Behead means remove your head by a single cut. That's called beheading. The device used for execution by beheading, metaphorically, a swift and a severe punishment or the end. When you have a sudden, severe end, we can call it guillotine, a device used for the execution. Okay. Mantra. Mantra is statement or a slogan repeated frequently. A statement or a slogan repeated frequently. Prodigies. As I said, prodigies is a word that we normally say young prodigy, young individual endowed with exceptional qualities. So whenever you have an exceptional quality, you'll be called a prodigy. If you are young, we'll call young prodigies. Compound your gains. Compound your gains. To increase, compounding effect. So gains is gains when you earn something. So when you're compounding your gains means you're constantly getting it. You are having kind of a compound interest. To increase one's advantage or profit by reinvesting or building upon previous successes. So whatever success you have, now based on that you have further some advantages. And when you have a next stage, onto the third stage, when you're moving, you have another advantage. So at every stage, based on your current stage, you're getting an advantage. So that's compound effect. Compound effect. Here your first level is not concerned, here your current level is concerned, so that's why it is compound. Resolve into, to transform or evolve into particular state or condition. Resolve into, to transform or resolve into particular state or condition. Iconic, widely recognized and well established, widely recognized, iconic figure. We normally say iconic figure, that is widely recognized and well established. Frantic is wild and distraught with fear, wild or distraught with fear, anxiety, and other emotions. Frantic. Okay, now let's get back to the article or the story, as they call it in Medium. Okay, the pattern is striking. From crypto wonderkind Sam Bankman Fried and Carolyn Allison to pharma villain Martin Shkreli to fintech fraudster Charlie Jarvis, all 30 under 30 honorees before their spectacular falls. These cases highlight the dangerous incentives created when we glorify rapid success without sufficient scrutiny. As an executive coach, as an executive coach, I find firsthand how profoundly this pressure for early achievement distorts and aspirations of my clients. They are not just on the grind, they are sprinting to start businesses, raise capital, secure press coverage, deliver keynote presentations, and achieve eight-figure revenues while still figuring out who they even are. It is a competition to create now just a business or scientific breakthrough, but a massive personal following and financial freedom in one's 20s. It often feels like there is no room for failure, intimacy, and self discovery in that frenzy. Look, I'm not really here to hate on 30 under 30. I know plenty of genuine wonderkinds who deserve recognition and use this indicator of excellence to advance their aspiring visions from our future. Forbes itself was simply giving the world what is wanted, a new set of shining heroes to ooh and ah over the headline grabbing minute before moving on to the next class. I too was caught up in the race against time, founding a venture backed company and reaching for prestigious government fellowship in my 20s. But when my company failed and swearing ceremonies faded, I realized that I had been measuring myself against the arbitrary yardstick that held no inherent truth. Having entered my 30s without Forbes mention nearly a decade ago, the psychic residue of that deadline was slowly washed away. While I might never ascend to such lofty professional heights, I have built a creative business that fits my neurodivergent mind and get to raise an energetic baby girl with a wild yet fiercely loyal partner. The truth is, even those who ascend these elite rosters in their 20s are not immune to realities of aging. Oh, that's a quite long one, so I think I'll cut it short here. Let's go to the meanings further. Now, there is something called cultural obsession, a widespread and intense social focus or fixation on a particular idea or value. Cultural obsession. Now, benchmark, a standard or a point reference against which things may be compared. So, whenever you're comparing something with a standard, we can call it a benchmark. Narrative arc, the chronological construction of a plot in a story or a life journey. Narrative arc, the chronological construction of a plot in the story or a life journey. So whenever you do that, it will be called narrative arc. Deferred gratification. Now, deferred gratification, the resistance to the temptation of immediate reward in reference to later reward. Now that's deferred gratification. Existential dread is deep anxiety or a fear about life's meaning and one's purpose. That's existential dread. Deep anxiety. Arbitrary is based on random choice or personal whim rather than any person or system. Linear trajectory. Now, trajectory is a path followed normally by the projectiles. It's by projectiles, but we can use it the way we want. Um, a direct or predictable path of progress. A direct or predictable path of progress. So, path, whenever you're following a path, we'll call it trajectory. Unravel, to come apart or fall into disorder. Fall into disorder. Unravel, to come apart or fall into disorder. Societal scaffolding. Structures or systems built by society to support certain expectations. Societal scaffolding, a structure or a system built by society to support certain expectations or norms. Oh, that's a good word. I like that. I like that. I really love this word. Societal scaffoldings. Societal scaffolding. So it is something using which you can climb. You can actually climb. You can elevate yourself. So that's societal scaffolding. Now, recalibrate to unadjust or correct something in order to make it more accurate or suitable. Recalibrate to adjust or correct something in order to make it more accurate or suitable. Well, that's it. These were the 20 words. I will put these words in the description box. You can just go through these words, try to make use of them. No, obviously, these are not the simple words. These are not very easy words. But what if you're targeting something higher? If you're targeting something difficult, the easy one will come to you automatically. You will find everything easier when you're trying to do something very tough. So these words, obviously, I understand these words are not easy. These words are not, but then once you are having the knowledge, once you have these words in your lexicon, you're going to feel more confident, and you're going to not actually find any difficulty in uh, understanding something and presenting yourself if you learn these words. So with this, we end up. Thank you very much for being with me. And at Bone Scholars, we are doing this series, as well as we are doing in between some informative videos related to communications, of course. So those who really want to learn more on this, where we have a specific curriculum to follow, where definitely you will come out as someone who has the fire to get the communication better, you can just reach out to us. Thank you very much.